The night was quiet, but her heart was not. Margaret Williams, a 78-year-old Black woman whose grace carried the weight of many decades, sat at her mahogany desk with the inheritance papers spread before her. $500 million, her life's earnings, investments, and the estate built alongside her late husband. Her trembling hand hovered above the signature line. She had decided everything would go to her adopted children, Charles and Evelyn. She closed her eyes, remembering the day she first saw them. It had been winter 40 years ago. She had stepped out of a charity meeting in Chicago when she spotted two small children huddled beneath a broken bus stop. Charles was no more than 6, his clothes tattered, his arms wrapped protectively around a baby sister. Evelyn, barely 3, shivered in silence. They had been abandoned by parents lost to addiction, discarded like trash. Something in Margaret's soul would not let her walk past. She bent down, placed her warm scarf around them, and whispered, "Come with me. You'll never be alone again." From that moment, she poured her heart into raising them. She gave them the best schools, the best home, the kind of life she had once only dreamed of as a little girl in the segregated South. And in return, she thought she had received love. Or at least she hoped. But that night, just moments before signing her name, Margaret heard muffled voices outside the study door. Curious, she rose and moved closer. The door was slightly ajar. "Once she signs the papers tomorrow, we'll have it all," Charles's voice sneered. $500 million. No more waiting. Evelyn's laugh followed, sharp and cold. "We don't even have to play nice anymore. Honestly, she's lived too long already. If she slips down those stairs, or better, if her medicine gets swapped, no one will question it. Old age will take the blame." Margaret froze. Her hand pressed against the wooden doorframe to steady herself. Her heart pounded so hard she thought it might give away her hiding place. Her children, the ones she had rescued, fed, and raised with her own hands, were plotting her death. She wanted to burst in, to scream, but instead she listened, each word slicing her open. Charles continued, his tone dripping with greed. "We'll play along until the ink dries. Then we'll make sure her health fails. Hospitals won't ask questions about a woman her age. And once the funeral is done, we split everything down the middle." "About time," Evelyn muttered. "I've been pretending to love her for years. She still talks about how she found us in the cold, like we owe her." Pathetic. Margaret's chest ached. The scarf she had wrapped around Evelyn's tiny neck all those years ago flashed in her memory, a symbol of hope she thought would never die. Yet here they were, her children by choice, spitting on the love that had saved them. She stepped back silently, tears blurring her sight. But with each tear came resolve. Justice would not be mocked. Respect would not be trampled on. That night, instead of signing, Margaret called her lawyer. The papers were changed silently, without her children's knowledge. The new will redirected every dollar to charities for abandoned children, scholarships for the poor, and hospitals for the elderly. The next day, the Grand Library was filled with reporters, lawyers, and her adopted children dressed in designer suits, their smiles greedy with expectation. Margaret stood at the head of the table, her frail figure commanding silence. "My dear children," she began softly, her eyes fixed on them. "I thought this would be the day I rewarded your loyalty, your love. But last night, I discovered what you truly think of me." Confusion crossed their faces, quickly masked by false smiles. "Mother, we don't know what you mean," Evelyn stammered. "Oh, but I do," Margaret interrupted, her voice sharper now, cutting through the room like a blade. "I heard your laughter. Your plans to see me gone. After all I have done for you." Whispers rippled among the onlookers. Charles's face flushed red, panic rising. With calm hands, Margaret lifted the will. "This inheritance is no longer yours. Instead, it will serve children who were truly abandoned, children who will understand love and respect, not greed and betrayal." The lawyer confirmed the new terms. Reporters scribbled furiously. Cameras clicked. The room exploded with shock. Charles leapt from his chair, his face twisted with rage. "You can't do this." Evelyn's voice cracked with desperation. We're your children." Margaret's eyes filled with quiet sorrow, but her voice remained steady. "No, you were my chance to give love. But children honor their parents. You chose betrayal. That makes you nothing more than strangers to me now." Gasps filled the hall. The two stood humiliated, their dreams of wealth dissolving in front of an audience they could never silence. As Margaret walked away, her cane clicking softly against the marble floor, her heart felt both heavy and light. Heavy for the family she never truly had, but light with justice finally served. For in the battle between good and evil, respect and disrespect, she had chosen truth. And truth, she knew, was the greatest inheritance of all.